All right, thanks so much for joining us on the bright side. Once again, on our last program, we were talking about enzymes, metabolic enzymes, and enzyme deficiency diseases. That is, enzyme deficiency diseases caused by genetic issues. G6PD deficiency, that's the most common of the enzyme deficiency diseases. Glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency, that's a deficiency in a very important enzyme that's involved in energy production. But there's another kind of enzyme deficiency that can affect health pretty significantly, as it turns out, and this is an enzyme deficiency that is way more common than genetic enzyme deficiencies. But in order to understand the importance and the significance of this type of enzyme deficiency, we got to talk about the second main class of matchmaker proteins. Enzymes are matchmaker proteins, and they come in two varieties: the metabolic enzyme variety and then the digestive enzyme variety. Metabolic enzymes are involved in helping the chemistry of the body work, the metabolism of the body work, and as is pretty obvious, the digestive enzymes are enzymes that help the body process food. The three main categories of food: protein, fat, and carbohydrates. Enzymes typically end with the three letters ACE. Whenever you hear ACE at the end of a word, in biochemistry anyway, you're talking about enzymes. Dehydrogenase, that's an enzyme that's involved with removing hydrogen from chemicals. Sulfases, those are enzymes that process sulfur. Nitrogenases, those are enzymes that process nitrogen. And in the digestive system, likewise, you've got enzymes that process protein. Those are called proteases. You've got enzymes that process carbohydrates. Those are called amylases. And then you've got enzymes that process lipids, which are fats, and those are called lipases. Digestive enzyme action begins as soon as food enters into your mouth. Actually, it even begins earlier. As soon as we think about food, we start to process our foods via our salivary secretion. Just thinking about foods will initiate salivary secretions and enzyme activity. This is why eating slowly and with awareness and consciousness, placing attention on our food, is so important. Using our mental powers, using our thought powers on our food is so important for the digestive process. As soon as we merely think about food, salivary secretion begins, and this is where digestive enzymes first contact food, and this is where food begins to break down. If you close your eyes and think about a yellow, juicy lemon, and then imagine it sliced in half, and then picture yourself biting into it and sucking the juices out of it, you'll probably notice just by thinking you're starting to salivate. Even simply looking at a food can be enough to initiate a salivary response. This is one reason why paying attention to the sensation of food, why paying attention to the eating process itself can be so important. When we eat when we're driving, when we eat in our car, when we eat at a meeting, or if we eat while we're watching TV or while we're reading, or if we are directing our attention anyway away from the eating process, not only do we tend to eat a lot more food, but even more functionally, even more importantly, we lose a golden opportunity to maximize digestive chemistry, to maximize absorption and utilization of foods. Now, this might not seem like a really big thing, and maybe it's not that big a deal for people who are healthy, but if you're dealing with any kind of digestive health issue, if you've got irritable bowel syndrome or ulcerative colitis, or you've got a stomach ulcer, or if you've got Crohn's disease or celiac disease, you really want to be doing everything you can do to leverage all of your digestive chemistry, to leverage all of your digestive machinery when it comes to the production of digestive juices. And one of the fastest ways to shut down saliva production, one of the fastest ways to shut down enzyme activity, is to be freaked out or to be scared or in any way have your stress hormone response activated while you're eating. Remember, there's two great patterns of energy in the body, and they're activated by two nervous systems. You have your sympathetic nervous system and you have your parasympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight nervous system, the sympathetic nervous system, your emergency nervous system, your stress management nervous system that kicks in when we're under stress or when our survival is somehow threatened. Well, as it should be no surprise that the stress nervous system shuts down the digestive process. When your survival's at stake, the body's not concerned about processing food, it's concerned about surviving. When the stress management system kicks in, when the sympathetic nervous system kicks in, it slows down the movement of foods through the digestive tract. It slows down digestive secretions. It causes dry mouth. Technically, that's called xerostomia. All the digestive machinery starts to slow down as our stress nervous system kicks in. Saliva secretions are thicker. Saliva secretions are less functional. Sometimes people get dry mouth before some kind of stressful event, before an important meeting. Public speakers sometimes get dry mouth if they're scared about doing public speaking. On the other hand, the relaxation nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, is called the rest and digest nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system, the relaxation nervous system, rules over the digestive process. When the body is running on parasympathetic energy, and most of our energy should be run parasympathetically, survival energy is only supposed to kick in a rare occasion when our survival is threatened. When the body is running parasympathetically, when it's running on rest and digest energy, we feel rested. We feel relaxed. We're digesting our food. Under parasympathetic activation, salivary secretions are more abundant. Salivary secretions are more liquidy. They can coat food better. There's more minerals in our saliva. The bottom line is, don't eat when you're stressed. Even spending 10 or 20 seconds saying grace before meals, being thankful and grateful for our food, even just sitting still and spending 20 seconds practicing slow, deep breathing before we eat a meal can have a powerful beneficial effect on the digestive process, on enzyme secretion, as well as on salivary secretions. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. 855-660-4261 is our number. We'll be back right after this. Don't go away. All right, so continuing on with enzymes and the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest nervous system, just sitting still before we eat meals, saying grace, practicing deep breathing, relaxing. Activating the parasympathetic relaxation nervous system can be a great way to improve the digestive process. Now, for most of us, you're not going to notice a tremendous difference, a huge difference, but if you're dealing with any kind of health condition that affects the digestive system, ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease or celiac disease or queasiness or nausea or cramping or bloating, sitting still and relaxing before you eat your meals, activating your parasympathetic nervous system is a great way to improve the digestive process. This is one of the reasons why fast food is such a problem. In addition to the obviously crappy nature of the food itself, which is designed and formulated to maximize profits, not for health, the fact that we tend to eat fast food fast, and the fact that we tend to eat fast food when we're busy, sometimes when we're stressed, all of this has a suppressing effect on the digestive process. Does anyone ever really eat a Big Mac slowly? Does anyone ever eat a Big Mac and savor every delicious bite? Does anyone ever chew and savor every greasy, gristly bit of a hamburger that you get at McDonald's or Burger King? From a chemistry standpoint, the enzymes in your salivary juices turn the Big Mac into Big Mac mush really quickly. That's another reason why it's called fast food. It's got such a high percentage of non-substantive filler. The bread is largely air. The meat is processed and ground so completely it's basically some kind of firm mush. Even before it melts in your mouth, it's firm mush. Even unprocessed or less processed fast foods like chicken breasts tend to be softer and easier to swallow. Fast food manufacturers know that the faster a food disappears from your mouth, the more you're going to buy and the more you're going to eat. So fast food is engineered to disappear quickly. Fast foods are engineered. Corporate foods are engineered with central procurement and recipe development. It's all scientifically engineered. And it's not scientifically engineered for our health. It's scientifically engineered to maximize profits. If you eat real food, if you eat unprocessed food, you're going to want to spend as much time as possible chewing it. You want your saliva to activate. You want your saliva to concentrate on the foods. If you're an actress like Alicia Silverstone, you might want to do it for your loved ones too. Do a search for Alicia Silverstone and pre-mastication, pre-chewing, and you can see for yourself. Pre-mastication is pre-chewing for infants. It's called kiss feeding. Mostly birds do it, but historically humans have done pre-mastication as well. Hunter-gatherers on the African savanna used it to make nutrients more available for infants. Essentially, they would chew their foods and then spit it in their baby's mouths. Now, that's what I call true love. Only a mother would do something like that. Nonetheless, pre-mastication is something that has historically been practiced to improve nutrient ability for infants. Now, most of us don't have anyone to pre-masticate for us, so we should be masticating better for ourselves, chewing and salivating and doing it in a parasympathetic, relaxed state. Breathing slowly and deeply. We talk about this all the time. Breathing slowly and deeply not only is going to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, but it's also going to improve food energy value. Purpose of all food at the end of the day is for energy production in the body, and in order for this to occur, you need to have oxygen in the blood. The entire digestive process is very dependent on oxygen. Hypoxia or low blood oxygen, which in my opinion is the most fundamental physiologic cause of all disease and poor health, is especially problematic for the digestive system. The single most important reason, the single most fundamental cause of all health issues and all degenerative diseases is poor oxygenation, hypoxia. Likewise for the digestive system, nausea, queasiness, generalized poor digestive health can all be secondary to low blood oxygen. And under conditions of hypoxia, low blood oxygen, you're more likely to be in a stress response, sympathetic response. You're more likely to have dry mouth. You're more likely to have salivary issues. Even if it's not full-blown xerostomia or dry mouth, it could be sufficiently suppressed that it will affect digestive health. The longer salivary enzymes, saliva digestive enzymes, contact food, the easier the load will be on the rest of the digestive system. This is so important. It means, in essence, that by chewing our food carefully, by chewing our food completely, by chewing our food slowly, we can actually improve liver function. We can improve pancreatic function. We can improve intestinal functioning. We can improve stomach functioning. The whole digestive tract functioning can improve simply by chewing our food. That's a lot of health benefits, people. Cutting your food into small pieces, that can be an additional benefit, and that can make it easier to completely crush up food in your mouth. Check out the video of Alicia Silverstone pre-masticating, chewing her food, and then putting it right in her baby's mouth. As unconventional as that may seem, there's actually some logic to pre-mastication, and from a historical perspective, it's not that unusual and weird. Chewing your food is so important, and it's one of those things that we can all do that doesn't cost a lot of money, doesn't cost any money. You don't have to interface with a medical model. You don't have to take prescription drugs, and it can have some tremendous health benefits. The saliva is home to many types of chemicals. There's enzymes, of course, and we'll talk about these momentarily. We'll talk about these probably tomorrow, the enzymes that are in saliva. But there's also mucus in saliva, which has an immune benefit, has a defensive benefit, has antibacterial benefits. These components in mucus have powerful healing properties for the mouth and the gums. This is why animals lick their wounds. They're placing saliva on the wounds to help accelerate the healing process. Electrolytes in saliva, potassium, sodium, magnesium, these are also important for helping maintain the health of the gums, helping maintain the health of the teeth, keeping the pH of the mouth where it needs to be, for keeping bad bacteria under control. There's actually probiotics, good bacteria in your saliva. Those also help keep good bacteria, or keep bad bacteria under control, keep bad bacteria in check. There's calcium in your saliva. In fact, there's calcium in saliva that is in the ideal form for building strong dental enamel, making sure that you're salivating correctly, making sure you're producing enough saliva, making sure you're activating the parasympathetic nervous system so that salivary secretions are coming out in an abundant fashion, can be one of the best things you do for dental and for gum health as well. There's proteins in saliva that stimulate the growth of taste buds. People with dry mouth have taste impairment issues. And then, of course, there are the salivary enzymes that can help improve the digestive process. We will talk about that as we continue talking about enzymes and proteins for bodybuilding health and for bone health, building health on the bright side. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We're coming back with your phone calls right after this. Don't go away.
The GCN Radio Network, providing the world with hard-hitting talk radio. GCN. Great talk radio starts here.
All right, welcome back to The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. We're talking digestive health, digestive wellness, and specifically about the salivary glands and saliva. As it turns out, the health of the body is largely dependent in many ways, at least, on healthy salivary glands, healthy saliva secretions. You can actually measure markers, health markers that are involved with cancer and systemic diseases in saliva. Using saliva as a diagnostic tool is something that doctors are understanding more and more about. There's a really neat article that was just published in... Where was this thing published? I forgot. I can't see where this thing was published, but it's titled The Salivary Gland and Systemic Health in the Journal of Oral Biosciences. The Salivary Gland and Systemic Health towards the creation of salivary gland and health medicine. We'll continue this discussion on our next Bright Side episode as we continue talking about enzymes, digestion, protein metabolism, and the health of the body, and especially the health of the bones. All right, our number 855-660-4261, 855-660-4261. We got a couple lines open for you, 855-660-4261. Let's take our first phone call of the day. Moody in Texas, welcome to the Bright Side. What's up?
Hi, I have two questions. One goes with what you were talking about, which is my teeth.
Okay.
I'm having a lot of problems. I don't have a lot of money to fix them, and I go on and off the health wagon, so I'm back to organic, and I'm starting to do the coconut pulls.
The what? Coconut pulls?
Yeah, oil pull where you push
oil
coconut.
pulling. Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing that, and I'm washing with Himalayan salt, but I still feel like it's not giving my teeth enough. What can I do because they're already really bad?
Lots you could do. Now, just for the listeners, oil pulling is basically swishing oil around in your mouth. You're doing it with coconut oil, did you say?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that. What do you just dissolve the coconut oil in your mouth and kind of swish it around?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's not going to hurt you any, but it's not going to necessarily build strong teeth. Are you telling me you have cavities or gum disease? Describe your dental problems.
Cavities, already got some stuff pulled. It's all been financial. I haven't been able to fix them, so I just...
Well, I would
and then
guess...
also there was a long period where I didn't take care of them, and now I'm starting to take care of them again.
Okay. Well, good deal. How old are you, can I ask, approximately?
52.
And you must have something else going on in your body. It's not just your mouth. Can't be. Just one part of the body. High blood pressure, blood sugar issues, weight problems. What else is going on?
I did do my blood pressure the other day. It was 142.
All right. So these are all signs that the body's starting to, high blood pressure and gum disease and dental disease, these are all signs that the body's starting to kind of break down a little bit, especially at the age of 50. These are some of the manifestations of long-term breakdown. I would guess that you're probably doing in what we call sympathetic overload. Your body's stress nervous system is probably it's probably taking over the energy management of your body. Remember, there's two great movements of energy in the body. One is responsible for handling emergencies, survival, stress. The other is for resting and relaxing. So I talked about this a little bit at the beginning of the program. First and foremost, you probably want to start focusing on relaxing the body and deactivating the sympathetic nervous system and activating your rest and digest nervous system, number one. And if you don't have a lot of money, you don't need a lot of money because there's a couple little simple things you could do. Number one.
I do a lot of yoga, so.
Well, how about the deep breathing? Are you practicing deep breathing?
Yes, sir.
Slow deep breathing every day?
Yes, sir. Not
Okay,
every
good.
day, but in my yoga class, yes.
You want to do it every minute, really, or every hour at least, but certainly every day. When you do your yoga, that's great. One of the things that yoga instructors focus on, as you know, I'm sure, is slow, deep breathing. Pranayama, they call it in yoga. Yeah. In any case, slow, deep breathing is very, very important. Secondly, under conditions of nutritional deficiency, your body will regard that as an emergency, so getting on a good, basic nutritional supplement program, that's a must. I'm not going to tell you about specific nutrients for the teeth and for the gums, although there are a couple that maybe that you could focus on for gum health and tooth health or dental health in general. But if you're under conditions of nutritional deficiency, general nutritional deficiency, that sympathetic nervous system, that stress management nervous system is going to be working overtime, and that's going to lead to degeneration. This is so important, you guys. When the stress management system kicks in over time, we will degenerate, and the bones are part part of the tissue that will degenerate. I'm sorry, the teeth are part of the tissue that will degenerate in addition to the bones, in addition to the gums. So if you're already doing the deep breathing techniques, keep doing it or do it more. Secondly, get yourself on a good nutritional supplement program, especially minerals, number one, and that means calcium and magnesium. Well, that means all your minerals, but especially calcium, magnesium, and especially your electrolytes. Remember, the calcium in your saliva is specifically designed to help build strong teeth. Calcium from the saliva can actually enter into the enamel and build dental strength, build tooth strength. So making sure you have enough calcium, making sure you have enough magnesium, and making sure you have enough vitamin K and vitamin D is also important. You can supplement with vitamin K for dental health. You never hear people talking about this, by the way. Vitamin K is very, very important for dental health. I'd be using vitamin K2, maybe 2,000 or so micrograms a day, and then eating vitamin K-rich foods, which include organ meats if you eat meat, and butter and cheese. Eggs can be a source of vitamin K as well. Natto is one of my favorite sources of vitamin K. Natto also will provide you with probiotics, and there's also probiotics in good bacteria in saliva, as we were talking about earlier, and those are important for dental and for gum health as well. So using Natto, using probiotics too, can be very helpful. And then let me just tell you a couple more things real quickly. Yes. Vitamin C is very important for the teeth as well. A lot of folks don't realize this, but the teeth contain large amounts of collagen, and that's one of the reasons why, the gums contain large amounts of collagen, and this is one of the reasons why gum disease is prevalent with folks who have osteoporosis. When you have collagen problems, you usually have collagen problems throughout the body, and gum disease and osteoporosis go hand in hand. Those are both collagen issues. Vitamin C is extremely important for building collagen. No vitamin C, no collagen, and of course protein is also very important for gum health as well. And make sure you get a good source of protein. I like whey protein the best. That can be important. If you have any digestive problems, you've got to focus on those because you're not going to be absorbing your protein or your minerals without a healthy digestive system. I'm sorry, go ahead real quick, ma'am.
Okay, and then the second thing was it happened this weekend for the first time. I looked it up. I had the positional vertigo. I guess it's called benign.
Well, that's a classic sign. Yes, ma'am. That's a classic sign of adrenal stress, of activated sympathetic nervous system. Technically, we call that postural hypotension. And that's when you stand up real quickly, you feel dizzy or you feel woozy. The adrenal glands regulate blood pressure. If your blood pressure is thrown off and your adrenal glands aren't regulating that blood pressure correctly, you'll feel dizzy when you stand up. Sounds to me like you're in sympathetic overdrive, my dear, so you got to figure out what's causing that. It could be something like nutritional deficiencies. It could be something like emotional or mental stress, or it could be something that's putting a burden on the body's ability to handle stress. And it probably, if you're at the age of 50, it's probably been going on for a long time. So focus on relaxing that sympathetic response. The hypertension, the vertigo, the dental problems, those are all signs that you're under some kind of severe sympathetic overdrive stress response. I'm sorry, what were you saying, Moody?
Well, the positional vertigo I had was in the bed. It was when I was sleeping. It was not when I was standing up.
Oh, it didn't happen when you stood up? It just happened when you were laying down?
When I laid down, when I woke up. Yeah.
And then you just felt dizzy when you woke up?
Yeah, and then the room was spinning when I woke up, and then my eyes were darting back and forth. Yeah,
all of those are signs that your blood pressure is not being regulated correctly. I'm guessing you've got something pretty serious going on that's activating that stress response. And
okay,
it could be.
Let me ask you this. With the blood pressure, I've been doing the Himalayan soul salt. Would my blood pressure be going up because I've been doing Himalayan salt?
Absolutely 100% not. It'll help you, but there's more than that. Hang tight, Moody. We'll finish up when we come back from our break. Robbie, Douglas, Ron, Sandy, hang on. We'll get to all you guys before the end of the program. And I don't think we'll take any more phone calls, so we'll just take you guys on hold. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We'll be back right after this. We're back on The Bright Side talking to Moody in Texas. Got a bunch of folks on hold here, Moody. So real quick, tell me let's finish up. What were you saying before?
So the positional vertigo is not the crystal in the ear. You're saying it's stress and blood pressure related?
It's a blood pressure issue. And it could be inflammatory as well. There might be something going on in your head. But first and foremost, you got a lot of things going on there. So you want to, this is the thing, when you have a lot of stuff happening, if you try to approach every single symptom piecemeal, it becomes much more difficult. So you want to look for making one move or two moves or three moves that can affect all of the different parts of the body. And that's why activating the parasympathetic nervous system And slowing down the sympathetic stress response is so important because it's just one move, it's one strategy, and it can have multifactorial benefits. You can improve dental health, you can improve the dizziness, you can improve digestive health and blood pressure health, the whole bit. So focus on the stress response. Make sure you're on a supplement program. If you have any digestive problems, that clearly needs to be addressed. And you say you're doing the deep breathing, but I would venture to guess that you're probably not doing it enough. And the Himalayan salt's great, but you don't want to necessarily think of it as curative. The Himalayan salt and Celtic sea salt are wonderful ways to get minerals, but they're not curative. It's not like you'll take your Himalayan salt and all of a sudden your dental problems and your vertigo problems will disappear. One last thing, Moody, I got to move on.
What's the number one vegetable you would recommend?
It doesn't. Number one vegetable, did you say?
Yeah.
It doesn't quite work that way, but certainly the cruciferous vegetables. If I had to tell you the most important group of vegetables, I would tell you the cruciferous vegetables: broccoli, bok choy, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. Those are the most medicinal vegetables anyway. Thanks so much for your call, Moody. Appreciate it. Got to move on. I want to get to as many calls as I can here. Robbie in Arkansas, welcome to the bright side.
Yeah, thanks for the call. I have a question on how much is too much I hear.
I'm sorry, you're cutting out there, Robbie. Robbie, you're cutting out a little bit.
Sure. What percentage of iodine is too much to take in a day? I hear bad stories, but nobody says
nothing. There's no bad stories about iodine. Iodine is an essential nutrient. It is pretty much non-toxic. I mean, if you went crazy and swallowed the whole bottle of iodoral or Lugol solution or nascent iodine, you may run into a little toxicity or you may get queasy. But you're not going to. There's no iodine disease or iodine excess disease that I know of. So I wouldn't worry about taking too much if you're being reasonably intelligent about it. The doses range from 125 micrograms to 12.5 milligrams, which is like 1,000-fold difference. You can even take 25 milligrams of the stuff, according to Dr. Brownstein, and people have taken even more than that. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. 12.5 milligrams a day is probably, that's called the Japanese dose, and that's probably a good place to be. They call it the Japanese dose because the Japanese eat a lot of seafood. Seafood contains iodine, and most nutritionists think that that's pretty much what the Japanese folks are getting. And they suffer from far less degenerative diseases than we do, including breast diseases and reproductive diseases, which iodine is clearly helpful for. So I don't know necessarily I'd worry about taking too much. I would worry much more about taking too little iodine. And as I say, 12.5 milligrams is a good place to be on the iodoral. And then the nascent iodine that we've been hearing so much about lately is a more active form of iodine, according to Dr. Group, who's one of the guys who formulated a really nice nascent iodine product. And so you don't need quite as much of the nascent iodine. But at 12.5 milligrams, generally speaking, is a good place to be. Does that help you, Robbie?
Yeah, I think these kelp drops, that one drop is supposed to be 100% daily value.
Yeah, 100% daily value means 100% of the ridiculous deprivation allowance, which is the idiotic amount that the medical model feels like you need enough of. The RDAs let me just say one last thing, Robbie. One last thing here. The RDAs are designed to keep you from having deficiency disease states. They're not designed to keep you optimally healthy. So while a drop or two of kelp may give you the RDA amount, in my opinion anyway, it's not going to give you enough to have optimum health. Go ahead. One last thought here, Robbie.
So if I took 500, 600, 700%, it would be okay?
Yes. Heck yes. Absolutely. Thanks so much, buddy.
My kids. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Robbie. Got to move on here. Okay, Ron in Indiana, what's going on? Welcome to the bright side. Ron? Do we have Ron?
Man.
Hey, Ron.
Yes. Hey, thanks for a real nice show. It's very informative, and I am in the same mindset as yourself. Matter of fact, I've turned down replacement for my heart, but I am taking heart medicine.
Okay.
And the reason I'm calling you is they want to give me my right eye developed a cataract, and they want to, operate.
Ron, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Did you say something about cataracts?
Yes, I have a cataract in my right eye.
Okay, cataracts are cataracts are just basically a sign of the body breaking down, the lens of the eye breaking down. It gets cloudy. It's a result of tiny little molecular interactions that involve sugar, involve oxidation. It's just a general sign of the body degenerating. So number one, you got to focus on your blood sugar. Well, number one, you got to focus on digestive health issues. That's always first. If you're not getting the nutrients you need through the digestive system, or if poisons and toxins are leaking into the blood through a broken down digestive tract, you will start to break down. And secondly, to compound matters, if you have a broken down digestive system, you're not going to be absorbing nutrients. And that will also accelerate the breakdown process. Blood sugar problems are also intimately connected to cataracts. As blood sugar starts to go up and as insulin control and blood sugar control starts to diminish with age, sugaring of various proteins in the body, including the lens of the eye, occurs. Your eyes basically turn to caramel. They caramelize in response to blood sugar changes. So the big two things to do when you have cataracts are focus on digestive health, focus on blood sugar health. You want to get on the sweeties, you want to use zinc, you want to use magnesium, you want to reduce your intake of sugary foods, increase your intake of protein foods, make sure you're using essential fatty acids as well, and certainly if you have any kind of digestive impairment, you need to correct that. Eating less food and making sure you're getting your nutrients, the so-called CRAN diet, calorie restriction with adequate nutrition. They're both important, not enough just to reduce calories, you got to make sure you're getting enough nutrients. That's pretty much my strategy for dealing with eye health issues like cataracts. You can also use nutrients specifically for the eyes. Selenium and zinc are specifically important for the eyes. Vitamin A, vitamin C, and vitamin E can also be important for the eyes. But as long as you got digestive health issues or if you have any blood sugar issues, it's going to be much more difficult to deal with cataracts. Regard your cataracts as a sign of a basic slowdown and degeneration of the entire body. Nobody just has cataracts, you guys. If you got cataracts, chances are you got all kinds of other degenerative health diseases going on. So you want to regard it as a global breakdown, a systemic breakdown of the body. Thanks for your call. Appreciate it. Sandy in Texas, what's cooking?
Yes. Do you have anything you could recommend for bipolar?
Yes.
Sleep disorder issues?
Yes. Bipolar is another sign of sympathetic overdrive, stress response, an overactive stress response. So all the things we talk about for activating the parasympathetic, the relaxation nervous system are important for bipolar issues. Number one, deep breathing techniques. Slow, deep breathing. Very, very important for all brain health issues, but especially for bipolar. Making sure you're on a good nutritional supplement program that features minerals like lithium. In fact, that's the prescription treatment for the medical treatment for bipolar disorder is the pharmaceutical version of lithium, but using lithium orotate, lithium aspartate, you can buy that at a health food store, or using the Mighty 90 nutritional nutrients from Longevity. Those have lithium in them. There's lithium in the plant-derived minerals. That can also be very helpful. Think electrolytes in general for all mental health or brain health issues. Potassium is an important electrolyte for the brain. Magnesium is not only important for brain health, it's also got overall relaxing effects. In fact, magnesium is one of the most important of the relaxing minerals that activate the parasympathetic nervous system. You may want to try stabilizing nutrients like GABA, G-A-B-A, or perhaps glycine or tryptophan. Both of those, all three of those can have a stabilizing effect on the brain. And certainly staying away from foods that spike your blood sugar. That's very important for bipolar health issues. That means more protein, less refined carbohydrates, and then last but not least, the ultimate essential fatty acids. Very, very important for brain health. All mental health issues, really. A lot of things the essential fatty acids are important for. You'll find those in the Ultimate EFA, which is part of the Healthy Start Pack that you can get from Longevity. Thanks for your call, Sandy. Appreciate it. And then let's see if we can get one more in here. Douglas in Texas. Welcome to the Bright Side.
Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
Yeah, recently I just found out last night that I have a grandson that his mom is now giving him amphetamine.
Amphetamine?
Yeah, amphetamine.
The mom is giving the hang on, sir. The mom is giving your grandchild amphetamine?
Amphetamine, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, it's speed is what it's really called. I'm not.
Yeah.
Why is the mom giving your grandson amphetamine?
Well, that's what her doctor prescribed for.
Oh, probably for attention deficit disorder, maybe some kind of medical.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. You know what? That's an important question, Douglas, and we're running out of time. I wonder if I get you to call back on our next Bright Side show, and we'll address that with you, because it's too much to talk about just in the 30 or 40 seconds that we have left. And I apologize for that, Douglas. ADD, attention deficit disorder, is one of the things that doctors love to treat with speed with amphetamine. There's a really interesting reason for that, and we'll tell you about that on our next Bright Side episode. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You've been listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a wonderful, beautiful, awesome day. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Bye for now.